Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 of the greatest 3D platformers across PlayStation consoles.
So the end is in sight. Gather another 5 crystals, and again you will have foiled my plan. Or will you?
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Ape Escape. Before Ape Escape, 3D platformers mostly stuck to the traditional controls involving one analog stick to move around and incorporating moves into just 1 or 2 button inputs. Ape Escape showed that there were many other ways to play not just 3D platformers, but games as a whole. Using the second analog stick of the original DualShock controller, you could utilize more movement and have some precision in your actions as you ran around chasing mischievous monkeys. And it boasted a ton of personality to boot, with its various jungle-themed levels. The most amusing part about this game? It hasn't aged a day. It still handles like a dream. Yeah! Gotcha! Ratchet and Clank, up your arsenal.
Very funny. You having a good time?
Ideally, you could play almost any Ratchet and Clank and have a good time, guaranteed. But if you want to see the series at its true finest, Up Your Arsenal remains to be the best in the franchise. This was where Insomniac Games perfected their blend of 3D platforming with third-person shooting. Rather than just strafe around, your defensive maneuvers involved jumping around shots, doing flips, bolting behind cover, bouncing over smaller enemies, cool stuff you only see in the action movies. And you did it while wielding some of the wildest weaponry imaginable. Plus, this was the game to introduce Dr. Nefarious, one of the funniest villains in PlayStation history. And Lord knows, we need more of those.
That's all for now.
Pac-Man World. Prior to this spin-off series going multi-platform, the only way you could play Pac-Man World was if you owned a PS1. And it was a real gem of a game. Rather than copy Super Mario 64 or even a certain marsupial, Namco retained traditional 2D level design with 3D visuals and controls. Old school design mixed with evolved technology. It was a pleasant blend, and it came with a diverse mix of levels and gimmicks. That isn't to say the game was perfect. Anubis Rex still haunts us to this day. Even so, Pac-Man World was a fun romp to spend a weekend evening playing, and the 2022 remake made it even better with more refined controls and mechanics. Sackboy, A Big Adventure. Ever since the first Little Big Planet game, we had wanted to see Sackboy and friends make the jump to 3D in some fashion. Better late than never, we suppose. Sackboy: A Big Adventure wasn't exactly what we were wanting, but it still managed to deliver something remarkable. It was a similar experience to Nintendo's Super Mario 3D World in that you had linear paths with hidden areas branching off and a small handful of collectibles for players to find. And there was a hearty helping of different costumes for players to unlock as well. It was a simple jaunt that was perfect for the PS5's launch. If only more people gave it a fair shake at the time. Daxter.
I'm trusting you with my pride and joy, little Betsy.
All right, got a hot daughter, huh?
Most would likely reminisce over the first Jak and Daxter game. However, we keep coming back to Daxter's solo outing a lot more than the game that kicked off the franchise. Between the enemy variety, clever reuse of Jak 2's open world, and different mini-games parodying popular movies, Daxter was one of the best PSP games you could play at the time, and it still is.
You protect that? You squished them all, Orangey pal?
Yeah, I'll clean them out.
Sure, there may be a minor character or two that we would like to remove from the game if we could, Zymon, but overall, the Otzel's Misadventure is a solid A+ game.
Daxter must not be allowed to rescue Jack. Do you understand?
I will see to it personally.
Bugs Bunny and Taz, Time Busters. The PS1 saw a nice handful of excellent Looney Tunes games. Some will fawn over Bugs Bunny Lost in Time or Looney Tunes Sheep Raider, my personal favorite. But of the Looney games we saw in the 90s and 2000s, Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters was the looniest. Swapping between Bugs and Taz opened the door for thrilling platforming challenges and cleverly assembled puzzles, and it was done while incorporating the hilarious antics the Looney Tunes had become known for. Now, if only we could get this on the modern hardware, since PS1 games can be brought forward to PS5. Let's make it happen, Sony!
Great work. Do you want to try again?
Sly 2, Band of Thieves.
I'm the wizard, and you're sitting duck.
I read you loud and clear, lizard.
No, I'm... Forget it, you're not taking this seriously.
Sucker Punch was no stranger to 3D platformers prior to Sly. The studio's first game was an obscure N64 platformer called Rocket Robot on Wheels. But when they began making exclusive games for Sony, Sly 2 Band of Thieves quickly became one of their best games ever.
I allowed you to sit in on this stakeout as a favor to the Contessa. I really don't need any help. Oh, I think you might.
From the intricately designed worlds to the different playable characters and their unique abilities, this was among the best games in the PS2's catalog. If you haven't already, you need to go and play this game right now. It is commercially available for PS5 and PS4. Go do it! Spyro, Year of the Dragon. Both the original 1998 Spyro the Dragon and Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage are excellent in their own ways, but Year of the Dragon is the supreme Spyro adventure through and through. In addition to featuring the refined controls and mechanics introduced in Ripto's Rage, Year of the Dragon excelled at incorporating exciting missions that changed how you explored the world. Whether it was finding secret areas or taking control of brand new characters like Sheila and Agent 9, this was a 3D platformer that was literally bursting with creative concepts. How unfortunate that Spyro would never reach these heights after Universal took their Purple Dragon away from Sony.
Your kind-hearted nature might be your downfall someday, but for the time being, it's making me rich.
Crash Bandicoot Warped! Speaking of imaginative platformers, Crash Bandicoot Warped was, without a doubt, the best 3D platformer ever made for the PS1. The heroic marsupial was now dashing through time periods to gather crystals and doing so in other means. Yes, you had your tried and true Crash levels where you jumped over obstacles ahead of you, but then you had the runs through China with Pura, the plane segments, the motorcycle races, the jet ski levels, so many levels that messed with brand new mechanics while retaining the difficulty that we had come to expect from Crash Bandicoot. This was Sony's best 3D platformer ever for decades, until a little robot made his way into our hearts. Astrobot. Some may say the praise comes from the charm, others will dismiss it for excessive nostalgia, but no, Astrobot is more than that. Yes, it is a game boasting personality, but it also boasts challenging levels such as the ones based on the sacred symbols. Yes, it is a game with a ton of levels to play in order to complete it, but every level has a fun idea behind it, whether it's in theme, mechanics, or otherwise. Yes, it is much shorter than some people may like, but for most, it's the perfect length. Astrobot is the premier 3D platformer for Sony, and Team Asobi's potential is on full display here. And if you haven't already, you need to go play the other Astro games that came before this one. Astro's Playroom and Astrobot Rescue Mission are just as amazing. Which 3D platformer did you play most on a PlayStation console? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays.